If you feel like giving up right now, that's good, because wanting to quit isn't a sign you should stop, it's a sign you are closer than ever. I've seen this moment hit every serious trader, and coach dozens through it. So I'm going to give you 4 perspectives to reframe what you are feeling. Starting with the first, you already done the hard part. There is a well-known concept called the dip, and it basically says that every skill, every business goes through a specific pattern. You start, you get some early results, it feels exciting. Then you hit this long, painful stretch where nothing seems to work, no matter how hard you try. That's the dip. And the dip is where almost everybody quits. Not at the beginning. Beginners don't quit because they haven't put in enough to feel the pain yet. The people who want to quit have already lost accounts. They already felt frustration. They already sacrificed time, money, sleep. But what makes the dip so brutal is not even the losing. It's the comparison. Because while you are grinding, losing accounts, sacrificing weekends, you look around and see people on Instagram showing funded accounts, payouts, screenshots. But it gets even worse. Because there is people around you, your family, your friends. They don't understand what you are doing. They see you losing money and time on trading and they start asking questions. Maybe you should get a real job. How long are you gonna do this? So now we are fighting on 3 fronts. The market is beating you up, the comparison is beating you up, and the people you care about also. And what can be even worse than this? After all of this suffering, most traders will quit right before they would get out of the dip. And they just wasted money, years, and proved their family right. But there is one even worse thing that makes this phase almost impossible to survive. Every trader had this thought at some point. Everyone else is getting this except me. And if that's what you are thinking right now, you are wrong. There is actually a well-researched phenomenon behind this. It's called the spotlight effect. Psychologists found that people massively overestimate how unique their situation is. You think your struggles, your mistakes, your losing streaks are somehow different from everyone else's, but they are not. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, every single trader goes through the same problems and phases. I went through it, my students went through it, you went through it or will go through it. It's a reliable pattern every single time. Doesn't matter who you are. And just a side note, this is why you can't become profitable if somebody teaches you who hasn't been through these phases, but has only basically synthesized the theoretical knowledge and giving it to you. But back to the spotlight effect, it literally gets 10 times worse. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to start going to the gym and you start looking for gym advice. Will you see even one fat person giving you advice? If yes, then I guess you shouldn't take it. But mostly no, because the vast majority of the people who give advice are literally the top 1% physique in the entire world. And who gets to your feed is the 1% or 0.1% of that 1%. So you are basically looking at the top 0.01% of the population, comparing yourself against them. But it's even worse in trading, because at least if you go to the gym and look around, you see how normal people look. But usually you don't go around and ask people in the streets, bro, how many pro firm accounts have you lost? So here is what you need to understand. Every successful trader went through what you are going through right now, in whichever stage you are in. Every single one. And coaches can help you through these phases, but they can't go through them for you. But you know what's the craziest part? If you are at the point of wanting to quit, you probably already know more than enough to make it work. Let me ask you something. Do you think the trader who just got funded last month knows something that you don't? Some secret strategy, some hidden indicator? You watch all of the trading videos on YouTube too, so I can promise you he doesn't. And this belief that you need more information is why you are wasting years. Because every new video you watch makes you doubt what you already knew. So last week you were confident in your setup. Then you watched a video about order blocks. Now you are not sure anymore. Then you watched another one about liquidity traps. Now you want to change your entry. And before you know it, you went from one strategy you kinda trusted to 5 half strategies you don't trust at all. Then you see a trading psychology do and say, oh, that's the problem. Then you lose a few trades and next week you see a new strategy again, and this is a never-ending loop. And if this wouldn't already be bad enough on its own, don't worry. The industry makes it 10 times worse. Because every single person who makes trading content, and I mean every single one, myself included, has an incentive to make you believe that their approach is the one that you need. And some people lie, sure, but some people are just telling the truth. I mean, I can say if XYZ's strategy works or not. How would I know? But I can say mine works because I've been trading it for almost 6 years. And now I could just say, don't watch YouTube anymore. But we need to go a layer deeper because there is an internal reason why you keep consuming instead of executing. Think about what happened to you in the beginning of your journey. You found a strategy, you were excited, you told yourself this is the one. Maybe you even told your family. You backtested a bit, went live, and then you lost. You lost money, you lost time, and you lost the hope that you had. And this is a traumatic experience. So now, every time you think about committing to a strategy and actually executing it, unconsciously there is something that pulls back. Because last time you committed, you got burned. It's like when you're young, you put all of your confidence together. You go up to a girl, you say hi, and her girlfriend start laughing at how ugly you are. Don't ask me how I know. After this, it's more likely that you will ask ChatGPT to be your girlfriend than approach somebody again for a while. And this is the same in trading. You consume, you watch other video, you learn other concept. Because consuming feels productive and it's safe. There is no risk in watching a video. You don't need to go through the trauma again. Yet you get the dopamine of I'm making progress without making any actual progress. So if you want to make any money from trading and don't want an AI girlfriend, we must solve this. And the solution to this is a 3-step process. Step 1, stop consuming content or choose 1 or 2 people who for years have been saying the same thing. They are already coherent in their tips and not gonna confuse you. Step 2, choose one strategy you know the best and backtest it for 400 trades. If it's profitable, you like the data and you think you can execute it live, then we can go to step 3. If not, then go find another strategy and start the process again. Step 3, you will go to execution jail. For 60 days, no matter what happens, you can't change anything in the strategy. Think about this as a rehab. Your goal is not to make money, not even necessarily to prove that the strategy works in live conditions, but to reprogram your mind. So even if this isn't the strategy you will end up passing all of your challenges with, at least you will finally be able to follow one. But there is one thing I haven't told you yet. Every trader who wants to quit eventually reaches a crossroad, and you think you can decide whether to quit or keep going. But that's not true, because you subconsciously created a fake third option for yourself, the easy way. And if you stay in that, you will waste more years and more money without realizing it and without going anywhere. But before we get into what this third option is, first we need to do some math. And it will hurt. So let's say the average person who watches this has been trading for 2 years. Let's say average you spend 2 hours on trading per day. That's around 700 hours. Most of you lost at least 2 pro-firm accounts at this point. Let's say that's just 1k. You also bought some courses, 2-3k. So right now you are down 700 hours, 2 years and 3k. 3k doesn't sound that bad, but if we multiply the average first world country wage with the number of hours you spent on this, then you are really down around 14k. And just stick with me, I don't want to make you sad for no reason. I will make a point with this. So 2 years and 14k wasted. Also the emotional toll on yourself. Also the fact that likely everybody in your family knows that you've been trying to trade for years and lost money. If we add all of this together, if you already put in so much, then what's the other option besides keep going? You tell your family they were right. You go back to your 9 to 5. You lost 2 years of your life and almost 15k. But as I mentioned, there is the third option, which is literally worse than this. And if you think it can be any worse, I promise you it can. But before we get into it, let me tell you a story about when I lost my first funded account and how I survived it. Well, I was at the beginning of the curve, full of optimism. I told my girlfriend at the time we would be rich in 2 months. Also my family, but I was so broke that I couldn't afford a pro-firm account. But I thought I'm the best trader in the world. So what I did was I sold my car, I put it in quotation marks because it was so bad I could literally only buy a 25k FTM account from it. But I was very happy. Thought this is the end of suffering, making the math on how I'm gonna make 10% more or even 15% and how I'm gonna scale the funded accounts and make 20-30k a month, which at the time felt like insane money. Mind you, this was back in 2019. If somebody had a Lambo at the time, you thought, this is not a human. So then I started trading and I still remember my first trade vividly. It was around midnight. I was looking at my MT4 and I was like, what? I had a trade in some small drawdown, but when I looked at my MT4, I lost double of my risk. I couldn't understand how this happened. Obviously later I figured out it was because of the spreads at midnight. This was my first profit trade and I started to realize I'm in for a ride. But okay, not that big of a deal. I backtested. Obviously not properly, but I didn't know this at the time either. Thought I knew my numbers and I will make 15% amount anyway, who cares? Yeah, next trade loss. Next trade loss. You can get the idea. I lost that account in less than a month. So after this, I started watching videos and more strategies. But I was going nowhere. I was in self-denial saying I can't trade, but for some reason, I wasn't starting another challenge. Now, I didn't have any backup plan, so I had to evaluate myself really fast and break this cycle, because this is the third option I mentioned a minute ago, where you are so traumatized that you don't go anywhere. Literally. You are in self-denial saying you are learning to trade, but you are actually avoiding trading the whole time because you don't want your ego to be broken again. But without it being broken again and again, you will never improve. Therefore, you will never reach your goal. So now you are at a crossroad with two options ahead of you. Option A, you're okay with losing a few K, a few years, telling your family you're fed, and you will start looking for other business or profession. By the way, I just want to mention this exact cycle happens in every single business or anything that is not a 9 to 5. So you are not escaping pain, you are just transferring it to a later date while wasting more years. Option B, you commit fully. You put your back against the wall and say, whatever it takes, I will do it. I will solve all the problems that come up, because sure, there will be many that I don't even think about yet. These are the only two options which you should even consider, because even giving up is better than sticking with the third option where you are wasting more years, more money for literally nothing. But just know this, if you choose option B, you eliminated failure by default. And this choice won't just make you a better trader, because the discipline of pushing through when everything tells you to quit, that transfers to literally everything in your life. Your business, your relationships, your health. Trading is just the vehicle. What you are really building is yourself. So if you want to make trading work, you need to watch this video where I will explain the one and only thing you actually need to understand to succeed in trading.